This week we're in Johannesburg, where I'll be taking a lesson with some of the most famous township dancers in South Africa.
So it's gonna be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1.
Oh,
What
easy. We hit the Ibiza clubs in a wheelchair.
I am myself, like on the dance floor. I'm not a chair, I'm not a person who's actually in a chair, I'm me.
And we head to Scotland to catch a glimpse of some rare flying visitors to Orkney.
We're not entirely sure where the eagles have come from. There's an outside chance that they've come direct from Norway.
First up on this week's programme, we head to Ibiza, a Balearic island known as much for its nightlife as its idyllic sunsets. But what's it like hitting the famous dance floors there in a wheelchair? Alex Taylor agreed to take us for a spin to find out.
Ibiza, home to a world-famous nightlife scene 4 decades strong, that's a paradise for clubbers worldwide. As someone who lives for clubbing, parties and a good time, it's no wonder I've ended up here. The only difference is I'm in one of these. I'm Alex and I'm a BBC journalist. I've got cerebral palsy and have used a wheelchair since I was young, so I need a carer to help me with lots of day-to-day things. I also happen to be a pretty big clubber.
I am myself, like on the dance floor. I'm not a chair, I'm not a person who's actually in a chair, I'm me.
Last year I went to Ibiza for the first time and I had a pretty bad experience in terms of access. This summer I'm heading back to Ibiza to see if things might be changing. I'll be joined by my carers, James and Rachel. In Ibiza I'm staying in a specially adapted hotel room. It's got the space and the facilities I need. But I'm not wasting any time. We're heading straight out to Ocean Beach for one of their famous pool parties. I had a fantastic time here last year and the access was actually really good. I always find it a bit odd how much attention I get on the dance floor. It can be fun to have people always asking me for selfies, but I think it also shows how long we've got to go before seeing a wheelchair on the dance floor is the norm and not a novelty. Right, so I just left Ocean Beach, had a great time, it's a really good atmosphere, really good party in there. I've got loads of stuff on my face, I have no idea what it is. Back at the hotel and I'm getting ready for our first night out and we're heading to Pasha. It's a big name, like on the island, it's been here for years and years. I've heard it's actually quite upmarket, which is okay, like by me, like I can actually make the effort and look good, hopefully enough to get in, but otherwise I just hope it has access. In my chair at least, but I can actually get have a good time and actually have a dance, which is what I'm there for. Rachel is a private carer. I often ask her to help me on evenings out and if I go out partying because she likes to party like me. One way in which Ibiza has made progress with accessibility is with its taxis, many of which are wheelchair accessible. When we arrived at Pasha, it was a good start. A member of security spotted us and guided us through a side door into the garden. We tried to enter the club but were greeted with 3 steps and no ramp. So we were stuck in the garden. It wasn't until almost half an hour later that someone noticed us and showed us in through a fire exit. After a bit of a dance, I wanted to check out the toilet. They had no bars or anything that would actually help you to use the toilet as a wheelchair user with mobility issues. So, we're going to call it a night. Once James managed to drag me out of bed, Rachel and I had a catch-up about last night by the pool.
People are willing to sell you a ticket for €40
Exactly.
to only be actually able to go into a garden bit, or you know, they didn't say to you, oh, you have to get someone to come and open a fire escape for you to actually get in.
No,
it just, you know, it all seems a bit.
Since filming, Pasha say that they are sorry for the way I was initially treated when I arrived at their club. In a statement, they say,
"Since filming, we have introduced the following: modified toilet facilities, improved signage at disabled entrances, and additional staff training to make sure clubbers in wheelchairs feel included and welcome."
Accessibility laws in Ibiza are similar to those in the UK, stating that businesses must make reasonable adjustments to cater for those with access issues. But there's also a new clause in local law that aims to initiate fines for clubs that fail to make reasonable adjustments for access. I'm meeting Vicente, a wheelchair user from Ibiza.
Más que una falta de entendimiento, quizás falta un poquito de voluntad y sobre todo concienciación, desde cuando eres niño a adulto. Todos los clubs, todos los locales tienen que cumplir la legislación, y si no la cumplen tienes derecho a que tengan cartas de reclamación y hacer una reclamación, incluso ir a la policía y denunciar que eso no está bien. Cuanto más presión, más cambio.
Tonight we're heading to the world famous Amnesia. Last year I had a pretty bad experience there, and I'm hoping things might have changed.
You have ticket or no?
No, I don't have a ticket personally. I'm with Alex.
I have a ticket. I have one ticket.
So, just like last year, they wanted to charge my carer to enter. So that would add an extra €55 onto the cost, and I can't really afford that.
Yeah.
There's no way that he can go in without me.
Yeah, but you need ticket also.
No,
It's
but I'm
not
a
fair.
carer.
Yeah, but it costs a lot of money, so
Remember me?
it costs a lot of money, you see, so I don't have a choice because I have to have her help. So if it was you, what would you do?
After about 5 minutes of arguing, the security guards backed down. However, once I was inside, the disabled access was fantastic and I felt really, really welcome. After filming, we contacted Amnesia about my experiences, but they did not respond. I wanted to finish my Ibiza holiday with a bang, so we're heading to Es Paradis. It's a place where, despite some access issues, I felt overwhelmingly welcome, and that's really half the battle.
In my opinion, there should be a bit more of accessibility, trying to include everyone in. So it's quite refreshing to see people in a wheelchair like Alex. Everyone is approaching him, no one is feeling like, oh, he's in a wheelchair, so we're going to, distance ourselves from him.
I wonder why they're a lot more open in that environment than maybe if I was walking down High Street. Well, not walking, but, going down High Street. And I think it's because it's an environment which is all about enjoyment, acceptance and things like that. So I think maybe that's why. But I've often wondered why it can't be extended everywhere, I mean, everyone's nice to me always, but there's a different attitude when you're on a dance floor. I don't actually know if I have the answer as to why yet. Despite all of this, nothing will stop me from going clubbing, because when I'm on the dance floor, I feel free.
Still to come on the travel show. We travel to Scotland to track down some rare flying visitors to Orkney. And I meet the township dancers here in South Africa who have taken New York by storm.
1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
So don't go away. We're off to Scotland now. We're back in 2016. For the first time in 140 years, white-tailed sea eagles returned to Orkney. Now, to the great joy of islanders, 2 chicks have been successfully hatched. So we went to find out what the historic return means for the island.
White-tailed eagles were persecuted to extinction in the British Isles. 2018 is the 100th anniversary of when the last British bird was shot. So in a way it's quite nice to celebrate with some good news. We're not entirely sure where the eagles have come from. We know that they don't come from youngsters from the east coast. There's an outside chance that they've come direct from Norway, which would be quite nice because there are these links between Orkney and Norway. I can see one chick at the moment, but the nest ledge slopes right down at the back, so both the chicks can disappear down into the nest. They're the only white-tailed eagles nesting in Orkney. They've tried a couple of previous times and haven't managed to produce any chicks, so it's really lovely to see them growing so well and looking really healthy.
Our dad found the tomb in 1958. He found it by accident, looking for stone to make corner posts for fencing. He discovered it was a wall, so he followed the wall through a pile of rubble, and eventually he came to a black hole. It was dark, so he got a cigarette lighter, put that in, lit it, and there were between 20 and 30 skulls smiling back at him. Along with human remains were lots of bird remains, in particular bones of the sea eagle, the white-tailed eagle. There were 70 talons found altogether. One person appears to have had 5 buried with him, another had 7. So the sea eagle was obviously very, very important to these people 4,000 or 5,000 years ago.
So this is the life-size outline of the male, and the female's a bit bigger than this. We're really lucky that the birds have chosen to nest right opposite a car park, so we get a lot of visitors stopping off here who have heard that the eagles are here.
So is it just underneath that?
Above that and to the right.
Above to the right.
The islanders have very much taken them to their hearts.
Yesterday they said that they're bigger than Jess.
Oh yeah. Because we have such a great range of wildlife in Orkney, really the white-tailed eagles are the icing on the Orkney wildlife cake. So there are people come from all over the world. Nobody really knows what the next step will be for the birds, because nobody who's alive now has seen this before, but there's great potential for this to be the start of a new population, and they really look like they belong soaring up on the cliffs.
Visitors have been coming to see the Tomb of the Eagles for many years now, and it's good now that they can go to Hoy and see the real bird.
Well, to wrap up this week, I'm in Alexandra, a township in South Africa's largest city, Johannesburg, and home to a sensational form of street dance. Combining high-energy routines with eye-popping fashion, this is Pantsula. This style of dancing is absolutely incredible. It's fast-paced, it's energetic, and it's technical. But for young South Africans, it's so much more than that. It's a movement that encapsulates storytelling, fashion, and social expression. And just look at those dance moves. My mind is just blown. For Via Vindal, everything in their act holds a special significance, from their moves to their costumes, and their clothes are the colours of the national flag.
Pantsula, it's a local culture, you know. You would never get it anywhere in the suburbs, things like that. Whatever we do, we're telling stories, our stories, background stories, through dance, you know.
So you tailor dance moves depending on how you're feeling, what kind of story you're trying to tell.
Yeah, that's how we create stories. I can even sit home and be watching a TV and then come to the rehearsal and be gents, let's just put this move and be all of us, you know, together. Can we do that, all together? Yeah. Just at once. 1, 2, 1, 2.
You guys are always ready.
Yeah.
I love that. From growing up in this poor neighbourhood, the group has gone on to international acclaim.
The position 1 goes to the Fire Pandas.
In 2017, director Danny Boyle handpicked them to perform at one of New York's most prestigious venues, Carnegie Hall.
We really killed the stage. It was a big experience, especially because it was our, to be honest, it was our first time on the plane, and being at New York, it was something different. You could tell that we just far away from home.
Now, I read that one of you cried tears of joy. Who's that? You're denying it now, huh?
Yeah.
No shame, no embarrassment. The background of the dance is closely tied to the history of the nation. We're on our way to the biggest township in South Africa, Soweto. Here, the Pantsula has a deeply political message. Soweto has a reputation for activism. It was home to Nelson Mandela during apartheid in the years prior to his arrest. Pantsula has its roots in the same era. It mashed contemporary forms with traditional African dance, an act of cultural defiance against the oppressive white government. Talk to me about the social and political messages that you express when you dance.
The first political message is that Tina, as black people, we are powerful, you know. And the second is we're trying to tell the world that we're still free, but we're still bearing a lot of brands. We still have to push, you know, ourselves, and we have to push ourselves 10 times harder than any other individual.
Before I try out some moves with Via Vindal, teacher and performer Peiwei has offered to show me some beginner steps. Peiwei, I've heard a lot about this train step, but I know nothing about it. So tell me what it's about.
Oh, it's called the parazan.
Parazan?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For the mimicking of the sound effect that the train surfers used. You're gonna use this is the first, and go back. That's it. That's it. Now you're gonna be fast because the train is already fast.
Yeah.
So
can't get on the train slow.
Yeah. You got the paraza.
Yes! I think I need a little bit more practice though. For Payway and other Pantsula performers, they want to see the dance continue to grow throughout their communities. Okay, Tandy, as far as I understand it, Pantsula is formed of traditionally male groups, but you're repping for the ladies.
I always believe that Pantsula is a black people's culture. It's not only for boys. Pantsula must be a career, like other dances. Like Pantsula must be taught at schools, and Pantsula, it's for everyone.
Just want to give it to the whole world, you know, teach more people, you know, people who are interested. It doesn't have to just end here in South Africa, you know.
And now, the moment of truth. Do I have what it takes to become an honorary member of the troupe?
Okay, basic, okay, stand here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1.
Oh,
Got
easy.
that.
It was slow, slow. Okay,
Yeah.
so.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1.
I'm not getting the last bit. Look, come on, Hedges. You focus up here, I'm totally getting it. Focus on my feet, I'm not quite there.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm not good enough to join the group, I get it, but thank you for teaching me some moves. Sadly, that's all we've got time for this week. Join us next time when Carmen's in Australia, heading to a resort that's going crazy for cryptocurrency.
Okay, so we're going to pay by Litecoin. Amazing, that was so fast.
And don't forget, you can keep up with us on social media. The details are on your screen now. But until next time, from me and the rest of the team here in Johannesburg, it's goodbye.